There are few certain things in life: death, taxes, Disney, Star Wars making awful movies and TV shows, and me shit-talking MLB teams to the promised land. It's pretty impressive, actually, not trying to brag or anything, but you know, it's just what I do. I'm like a seductive woman who encourages men to rise and perform well, which seems to be exactly what I've done with the Philadelphia Phillies. Those men have most definitely risen and performed, and yeah, I'll be the first to admit that I had my doubts. Call me a hater, call me whatever you want to call me, I get it. But I just had a hard time seeing the Phillies doing it again. Last year seemed to be their chance, and they blew it harder than... Okay, I'm not going to go there. This is the family show. But I just didn't see it happening. Did I think the Phillies would be good? I mean... yeah, but I still really like the Braves' chances for the division, and I think most people did. So if you're part of the 70% of viewers not subscribed yet, come aboard and join the wonderful people who are subscribed to the channel, as the Phillies have most definitely taken my preseason opinion and straight ripped it in half like Nancy Pelosi. They're just straight up dunking on me. The Phillies this season legit can't really be much better than they've been. They're that good. They've been the Yankees of the National League. From top to bottom, every aspect of the team is borderline perfect. Like, they just cannot stop winning. There's a lot of different pieces of time to take from the year so far to show how good they've played, but the Phillies are 34-9 since April 24, just wiping their hands clean of every team. Almost the entire lineup has been really good, same with the pitching staff, which is what I'll start with. Starting with the starters, I get it, because, you know, newly extended Zach Wheeler has been Zach Wheeler, aka one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's striking out guys more than anyone in the rotation. He's gone at least 6 innings and 10 starts, most which were at least 7 inning outings. He's been great, but here's the thing. Then you have the rest of the Philly rotation, and they've all been just as good, some even better. Aaron Nola has been better than usual, if anything, this year, and continues to be a solid, reliable arm for the Phils. I mean, this is a dude who made at least 32 starts every season, not counting 2020, since 2018. Christopher Sanchez has come out of the woodworks to also be really good, and then the other lefty, Ranger Suarez, has been otherworldly. He doesn't even throw that hard, like at all. He's kind of like Imanaga with that low 90s fastball, but he gets the job done. And not just that, but does so exceptionally well. It's pretty fascinating. If you look here on the site Baseball Savant, the redder it is, the better it is, and the bluer, the worse it is. You can see his fastball velo isn't at all great, and neither is his ability to get swings and misses, but everything else is blood red. Suarez leads baseball in several categories like ERA, win percentage, which I know means nothing overall, but I still find it cool among all the other stats that just show how insane he's been. So the Phillies have all these insane starters who then hand it off to a bullpen that's also been filthy. A bullpen that has 2 guys that stand out: Jeff Hoffman and Nicolas Cage. Hoffman was never anything special in his career, actually starting the 2023 season teamless until the Phillies gave him a minor league deal, and he went on to have his breakout season. He was pretty good, and this year he's been incredible. The dude's ERA is 1, for Christ's sake, and Nicolas Cage's ERA isn't even 1. Jose Alvarado is pretty good too, and the rookie Orion Kerkering has also been filthy. And that brings us to what's been one of baseball's best offenses. The vast majority of the lineup has been awesome, and it's interesting because nobody's putting up MVP type numbers or anything. Actually, it's more so a bunch of guys who have been good. Harper's been the best as expected, but Alec Baum is putting up the best numbers of his career, and mostly everyone else has been solid. Brandon Marsh, Bryson Stott, JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, who's had a less powerful bat lately, but you can expect him to get that going anytime. Trey Turner's injury obviously sucks, but when he comes back, that only helps. Not sure what continues to go on with Nick Castellanos. I mean, he did have a solid year last year, smoked almost 30 homers, I'll give him that, but his overall tenure in Philly has been a little disappointing. It also wouldn't shock me if he went on an insane run though, and it's not like there needs to be loads of pressure on him, considering the rest of the lineup is doing well. So again, from top to bottom, this Philly team really has been amazing. I said they were the Yankees in the National League, which is kind of true, although they haven't quite been as dominant as them. The Phillies may not be number 1 or at the top in offensive stats, but they are in the top 10 in almost every offensive category, while the pitching just shoves. Whether it's from guys you expect, like Wheeler, or absurd dominance from a crafty lefty like Ranger Suarez, or Nicolas Cage, they've all been great. The Phillies really have shown me why and how I was wrong this year, and this was my perspective on things. 2022 was cool, and a special magical run that fell short to a team destined to prove the world that they could win a championship without cheating looming over their heads. But then 2023 came. The Phillies literally just hit replay on what they did the year before, taking down and upsetting the first place Atlanta Atlanta Braves in 4 games, clinching at home. And at this point, I and everyone was like, okay, yeah, this is it. The Phillies are definitely going to the World Series and probably will win it. Then they smashed the D-backs' teeth in to take a 2-0 series lead to Arizona. And Phillies fans were practically making their World Series plans. Like, okay, watch party at my house, game 2 at Johnny's, then the bar for game 3. I mean, it was basically guaranteed the Phillies were going back to the World Series. We all felt it. Literally everyone. So when the D-backs not just forced the series back to Philly, but won games 6 and 7 on the road in front of that rowdy, hostile Philly crowd, nothing made sense anymore. Logic was just thrown out the window. I would have bet my mother's life the Phillies were winning that series. Thank God I didn't. Bryce Harper would have killed my mom, but the 2023 NLCS really was the annual reminder from the baseball god to never take anything for granted or face value. Us idiotic fans get short-term memory too often and somehow forget upsets happen literally all the time in this game more than any, which is part of what makes it the best. So why am I bringing this up? Well, after the way last year ended for Philly, I thought that was it, or I at least felt a lot less confident in them. 2022, okay, fine. It was their first year back in the postseason in over a decade, but 2023? I don't know, it just left a real better taste in my mouth. So I just didn't feel like the third time was the charm. I'm just reminding you all what's possible. Yes, the Phillies may be great and unstoppable now, but we all saw how that turned out last year, specifically. But I'll also say that my feelings have changed a bit based on what has happened so far to begin 2024. Or maybe it's as simple as just don't have the damn Dancing on My Own remix by Tiesto as your rally theme song. The song that's literally never worked. I'm serious. Don't use it. It's 0 for 3. It didn't work with the Red Sox in 2021, and it hasn't worked the last 2 years in Philly. It's a great song, don't get me wrong, but what more proof do you need? Do you want to win, or do you want to bump this remix to your downfall for the 3rd straight year? Your choice. It's just crazy to me because I've always viewed the Phillies as this team that's going to fall off. And I say that because the core of this team, the biggest stars, the key pieces to the team are mainly not homegrown. They're veterans from other teams. Yes, they have some homegrown guys, but a team like Atlanta is swimming in those types of players, which is why it's kind of crazy and also, I guess, funny if you look at it in a certain way that the Phillies keep beating the Braves and then are even better than them so far this year. The Braves seem like a very up and coming, even though they already won a championship, young and fun team with big aspirations. Like a bunch of kids looking to the stars, dreaming big type of thing. They're good now and also seem to be set for the future long term. The Phillies seem like your local adult softball league full of guys who drink beer all the time and just act crazy. Like, you can't tell me Brandon Marsh and Kyle Schwarber don't give off that type of vibe. I still wonder how long this success can last, but I think it's also pretty obvious that I underestimated how talented this group is and the longevity that they actually have. And the softball analogy is obviously an exaggeration. The Phillies have very talented athletes on their team, but side by side with the Braves have always looked better. Yet the Phillies just keep pounding them in October and again are playing way better than them so far in 2024. The Phils are killing it. It's going to be a real fun ride until the 85-win Pittsburgh Pirates beat them in the NLCS. No, but hey, I mean, maybe third time is indeed the charm for the Phillies. Maybe this is the year. We have a long way to go, but they genuinely have been unstoppable so far, or at least as close to unstoppable as a team can get. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.